They said Jay-Z was my dad. They said...
We out here on vacation in the Bahamas, another beautiful day. Check it out, check it out. Boom. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception. Versus... Whoa, wait, don't give away too much, man. Yeah, okay, I can say clone, I want to say clone. All right, so there's like a clone. Bang, Lee.
The Epstein files reveal the largest genocide in human history, and it is being hidden from your eyes. 8 million children go missing every single year. Look at all these people with black eyes. Politicians, your famous actors, the Pope, high-level people. They all participate. This is an email from the Epstein files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse aging.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it. My heart.
But you earned it.
People love a good success story, especially when it comes to young stars who seem to rise overnight, the kind of rise that looks effortless, almost destined. But sometimes when a career explodes that fast, it leaves behind unanswered questions. This story begins with one of those questions. How does someone go from being positioned as the next big thing to completely unraveling in front of the public? Not quietly fading away, but collapsing in a way that feels messy, public, and deeply unsettling. At first glance, most people assume it's just another Hollywood burnout story. Too much fame, too much pressure, wrong crowd. But the deeper you look, the harder it becomes to accept that explanation. Because when you trace the timeline carefully, patterns start to appear. Patterns involving powerful names, whispered warnings, and claims that were dismissed for years. What makes this even more disturbing is that none of this surfaced suddenly. The signs were always there.
Bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my piece in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Ooh. Huh.
So you wonder what they did?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down.
Before his name became associated with controversy, Bryshere Gray was widely seen as one of the most promising young actors in the industry. He wasn't just booking roles, he was being positioned as a long-term investment, the kind of talent studios build entire franchises around. His performances were praised, his image was carefully curated, and his future looked locked in. To the public, everything appeared stable. Interviews painted him as focused, grateful, and surrounded by the right people. But what's often forgotten is how fast all of this happened. Rapid success in Hollywood rarely comes without strings attached, and in many cases, young talent is steered rather than supported. Looking back now, some fans say there were subtle signs that things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Moments where his behavior appeared off, interviews where he seemed uncomfortable, and decisions that didn't align with someone supposedly in control of their career. At the time, these details were brushed aside. After all, Hollywood is chaotic by nature, but hindsight has a way of sharpening the picture. When people revisit his early rise today, they're no longer just seeing success, they're seeing the setup. The moment when expectations were high, defenses were low, and influence could easily take hold. And that realization reframes everything that came next.
At the height of his momentum, Bryshere was introduced to what was described as a powerful mentorship opportunity. In Hollywood, mentorship programs are often framed as elite access points, where established figures guide rising stars through the industry's complexities. On the surface, it sounds like a dream scenario. Learn from those who've already made it, avoid common mistakes, and secure longevity. But according to multiple claims that surfaced later, this mentorship was anything but standard. Allegedly, it involved proximity to major industry figures whose influence extended far beyond entertainment. At the time, no one questioned it. Why would they? These were respected names with carefully protected reputations. From the outside, it looked like Bryshere was being groomed for greatness. But insiders and later whistleblowers suggested that what was happening behind the scenes didn't match the public narrative. Mentorship, in this context, may not have been about growth or protection at all. Instead, it allegedly placed him in environments he was not equipped to navigate, surrounded by power dynamics that favored silence over safety. The most troubling part is that, according to these claims, this period marked a clear shift in his behavior and mental state. And once that shift began, there was no turning back.
I'm gonna kick you in your and then I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. F you and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You CI that came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay. You and Charlie Mack.
Yaz's mom brought Yaz to Charlie. And Charlie came and got me and was like, what you want to do? I started writing for Yaz, like that's why it makes me mad to see what's going on with him right now. Like I can't believe what I'm watching.
Right.
I can't believe what I'm watching. Like for you to flip that way and turn like you doing gay porn and like what is wrong with you, man? No disrespect to anybody gay, but it's just like
because it was him.
It's a kid I watched from a grow up, so it's like, and then like the mental issues that he have. You feel what I'm saying? I know he had mental issues. Like he ain't all the way there. So to watch all this happening is like, all right, where all the people that was around when the money was around?
Years before the public started connecting these dots, certain voices were already sounding the alarm. Comedians, musicians, and industry insiders spoke openly about exploitative behavior in Hollywood, often naming the same figures again and again. At the time, they were laughed off, labeled bitter, unstable, or desperate for attention. But now those old clips are resurfacing, and the tone has changed. What once sounded outrageous is now being re-examined as possible early warnings. According to these individuals, young talent was frequently funneled through informal networks disguised as opportunity pipelines. Those who resisted allegedly paid the price by being blacklisted or quietly removed from the spotlight. Those who didn't were said to suffer long-term psychological damage. In Bryshere's case, these warnings take on a chilling relevance because the timeline matches. The names match, and the outcomes, unfortunately, match as well. What's most disturbing is how effective public dismissal can be. By painting whistleblowers as unreliable, the industry ensured that real conversations never gained traction, until now. And once the conversation started, it became impossible to stop.
For Empire, it's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pulled him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. Okay. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck his piss. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo, listen. Somebody stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada would watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm gonna let people know who you've been hitting with them deals. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do, period. And I got to have evidence. So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
I'm under penalty of perjury. If anything in here is a lie, my ass going to jail, period. There's no if, there's no ends, there's no buts. You know what you and Diddy was doing together in y'all younger years. All that's coming out.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling. So it's time for everybody that got a credible story, I should say, to start the process.
Now, no shade to Bilal, but at first, a lot of people thought he was clout chasing.
Everything changed when previously sealed documents tied to Epstein-related investigations began circulating publicly. While not all names were confirmed, the revelations reignited conversations about elite networks operating above accountability. Suddenly, the idea that powerful figures could hide disturbing behavior didn't seem so far-fetched. In this climate, older allegations gained new weight. People began questioning how deep these connections really went and whether entertainment was just one branch of a much larger system. In some documents and testimonies, it was by the end of this story, what lingers isn't a definitive answer, but an uncomfortable realization. This isn't about proving guilt or innocence in a video. It's about recognizing patterns that repeat themselves too often to ignore. Young talent rises quickly, is absorbed into powerful circles, and then collapses under circumstances that are publicly blamed on personal failure. Meanwhile, the systems surrounding them remain intact. Bryshere Gray may not be the first example, and he likely won't be the last. The real question is whether people are finally ready to look beyond celebrity worship and ask how much power should go unchecked. Because once you stop seeing these stories as isolated